we are talking about a very asset-intensive market. So getting more data out of those assets is definitely a trend, and this actually links very tightly with this other trend is IoT. So getting more and more data out of more and more assets in the field allow utilities to have a deeper vision on not only the assets themselves as a standalone items, but also how those assets perform in their key processes. So everything that relates back to getting more data from the field in a cheaper way, in a cheaper form, which is again links back to this IoT trend, is definitely the start of this chain and of these closed loop solutions that from Schneider Electric we can provide. Now, it's not just getting that data in, it's making sure that it is analyzed, and it's analyzed beyond what is being done so far, which is only monitoring what is happening. It is going one step ahead and making sure that those assets are healthy, or determining whether they're going to be an issue before that issue happens. So all that predictive capability and predictive analytics associated to that extensive amount of data that is coming from the field is another new way, I would say, or newer way to getting more return on those assets and those investments that exist in the field. And then the third layer, I would say, is let's not stop at the operations layer. At the end of the day, we're talking about companies, so making sure that that data is moved up to the C-level or to the director's level to make sure that there is a business decision behind is the next step, just to make sure that we close that loop. So from Schneider Electric, we provide these solutions that at the end of the day transform the data from the asset in the field to operational information and operational decisions, and also move up to the C-level to make sure that we are talking about business and strategic decisions at the end of the day.
And I think fundamentally the term data is key is important. We spend a tremendous amount of money, cities, municipalities, in the treatment of the water. And treatment plants are self-sustained, contained areas of automation where it's easy to tie your assets together and get the data through Ethernet networks. But in the water industry, wastewater industry, we are geographically dispersed. And it's sometimes a challenge to get the data from those stranded assets that are many, many miles away, and sometimes even outside the range of where we can even reliably visualize and collect the data from those assets. So those stranded assets are an important part, because it's one thing to treat the water. Water treatment processes haven't changed fundamentally over the years. We're well covered and well visualized in that space, and we spend a lot of money, customers spend, our end users, municipalities spend a lot of money in the treatment of water. But where the rubber meets the road, or where the water meets the customer, is in the distribution pipes after the treatment plant, right? And that is a notoriously low invested area from an asset perspective. It's underground, there's no sensors, no indicators of something going wrong in the distribution pipes. And really that's the service that the municipality provides. It's one thing to treat the water and make it safe to drink, but you still have to get it to the customer so that you can glean revenue out of it. And there's a couple different approaches that we can take with terms of innovation. One, you can apply IoT technology. You can put sensors on stranded assets that can communicate up into the cloud, and then we can aggregate and collect that data and assimilate that data into our real-time systems. Or you can apply technologies that allow us to virtually see what's under the ground using what automation and what sensors we do have, and be able to predict and analyze based on the model what our system is going to do under certain conditions. Water distribution is one of those areas where it's left out of the automation because it's underground and because it's geographically dispersed. And we have technologies within Schneider Electric that enable us to virtually see those assets and react and bring that back to in a real-time fashion. Data is key. So all of the assets and the devices and the sensors, all of that data rolls up into an HMI for visualization. Visualization allows us to monitor and make decisions based on alarm parameters or notifications that an operator may get, which is a precursor to an event that may happen. Trying to get out ahead of a failure before the failure occurs is key and instrumental. But going beyond that data and actually using that data with a certain amount of context to it enables us to make decisions ahead of time. For example, are we doing better today than we did yesterday in terms of process, in terms of distribution, regulations, those types of things. Having the data is key, and having the data in a centralized repository, our historian, enables us to be able to distribute the data not just to the guys operating the facilities and operating distribution, but also to those that are responsible for the maintenance of those assets, the operations of those assets, and also to the workflow procedures and processes that go in when those types of problems happen. So having that data and enabling context to that data enables them to create processes and standards and procedures that enable them to create the efficiencies that they need, both from an asset performance perspective and also a maintenance perspective. Allows them to create the routine or the rituals, the standards that they need to do this, to get better every day.
Yeah, and I would say, I think the key question or the key word there is context, because every company is different. Every company has a different the goal for any utility is the same, to provide reliable and safe service, but the layer underneath, how they achieve that and their priorities change from company to company. So that data, putting that data in the context of the customer's problem, it is one of the features and one of the reasons why we play in this market, and one of the reasons why we dominate part of this market in when it comes down to control and when it comes down to HMI, because we go beyond looking at just the technology. Is that conversation with the customer before what they want to achieve with that data, what are their specific problems, how they want to see that data for a specific issue. That's what we deliver. So we deliver more than just a software package. We deliver technology that fits those specific needs. So going through that process, going through that conversation before, is part of what we do too, as something that we deliver to that customer. So again, we're going beyond software, we're providing solutions.
Our software technology is unique in the market because I think from the core of our research and development, we are trying to design a solution that will last forever. We want to say that it's the last SCADA system you'll ever need. And the reason we say that is we allow continuous growth. We allow continuous expansion of our solutions. You don't have to buy another software solution that's typical in the water wastewater industry. After a certain amount of years, the operating system technology changes and they change their HMI. And what that fundamentally says to me is that they don't value the HMI system, because what they're losing is all of the data that they had and all the key information about how they do the things they do. So our technology is built to stand the test of time. We've been in the business doing this for 30 odd years, and we add incremental value. So if you want to start off with an HMI, great. We have a world-class HMI to do that platform that you build on. If you want to continue on and do energy management and asset management and water distribution networking, it's the same platform technology. And I think that's what makes us unique and different in the field.
And I would say, linked to that, the ability that we have to connect to whatever the customer already has. So leveraging that base that they've been investing all these years is one fundamental factor. The second one is definitely longevity. A customer that takes our technology knows that we're going to keep investing, we're going to keep moving ahead, and we're just not electric. We follow trends, but we set up trends. So we're trendsetters. in a way. And I think one factor, for example, with our new industry solution, water network optimization, we're disrupting the traditional view of a control system where, again, up until now, it was just historical data in real time. Now we're bringing a new set of data that was never in the control room, which was predictive data, all that into the package that our customers already have, so they can expand already what they have with this new set of data and have more visibility of their infrastructure and so on. So is that extensibility on top of what they've already invested before? What I think was one of our key fundamental factors. And the third one is the industry focus that we have. Again, HMIs are 1,000 in the field, but an HMI that can be tailored to your specific water and wastewater needs, and that can be expanded with additional modules with water and wastewater needs, because we have our Wonderware system platform at the bottom, which is the core key OT platform in the market. Not a lot of customers can, and a lot of companies can do that. So again, it's leveraging what they have and being very, very industry water and wastewater focused in the way we keep evolving.
When you're dealing with the world's most precious resource, I think you need to be a little bit more altruistic in how you handle the resource. You really need to consider what your job is, and you need to consider how am I going to get better every day. And where we've been in the past is very complacent about how we handled the processes of getting water to the customers. We take it for granted in the US, but there are parts of the US that are very close to drought. And water source management, water scarcity, and water contamination are big issues. And it's time, and you'll see, political trends coming and going about how they handle water situation, but it's very crisis-driven business, which means they wait till the last minute to handle a problem. And you can read in the news day in and day out of the issues that we face with lead in the water and chemicals in the water and contaminants and pipe breaks and poor infrastructure. We are at this point because we have failed to do the things we needed to do when they were doable, right? If it's underground, out of sight, out of mind, kick the can down the road, let's give money somewhere else. We're now at a critical point. And I would say to the industry, we need to take this job seriously. We need to get out in front using IoT sensors, analyzing data, and creating platforms and standards and efficiencies that will allow us to better manage the money that we do have, so that we can continue to innovate and continue to get better in all of the things that we do. And our platform and our technology, and I even think our spirit of the people that work in this sector and in this domain, we care about the industry and we want to see improvement.
Yeah, I would say there are the experiences with the customers, we've seen a lot of things, and I would say there are four fundamental things that could be followed as a company that is trying to move into this new stage. And I would say the first one, I call them the four I's, right? The first one is insight, is making sure that your goals are critical. And we come back always to the same, every company is different. So what are your strategic goals? Is it customer service? Is it reducing water loss? Is it reducing energy? Is that statement that no matter who is gonna make the investment at the end of the day, which department, everybody knows that that's what they need to have. And the second I is information. What do you have already in place? What have you invested in? Do you need an upgrade? Do you need some new training? So make sure that all that investment that exists, that you have already in place, you're making the best out of it, because you've spent a lot of money in that, right? The third one is integration. How do you put all that, how do you break those silos? How do you bring all that data into a repository, a place where, again, all that information that today is all over the place can be put in context, which is critical work. And the 4I is innovation. Now that you've looked internally what you have and what you can make the best out of, gaps will come up because things keep evolving. So then fill those gaps. And one very important thing, fill those gaps with productized, leading technology in the market. Trying to create internal developments and trying to productize internal technology will never be as efficient as going with off-the-shelf technology that has been proven for 30 odd years, that has a roadmap and has investment behind.
We are agnostic, which makes us unique in the market. We spend a lot of time working within the entire water cycle, from potentially desalination to pulling water out of the ground, to water treatment, to distribution, to collection, to wastewater treatment, and then back into the ecosystem. Our solutions span the entire breadth of the water cycle, and it helps to create a consistency of standards, operations efficiency, maintenance efficiencies. What we're really trying to press upon any industry, water, wastewater in particular, is that we have access to the data. And within that data, whether it's in the water treatment or wastewater treatment, collection or distribution, it's a common platform, tearing down those silos that empower the city managers and the C-level conversations to create standards and create efficiencies. That's key when you have all the data in a common and normalized platform, using other pieces of information in context with that data, making intelligent decisions across the whole span. That consistency and standards and efficiencies across the board is our unique value proposition.
So I would say, beyond the technical aspects, which I will get into, the experience that we have with technologies all over the world, specifically for water and wastewater, the references we have, the word of our customers on how we've helped them over the years in improving their operations is, I think, one of the best values that we can prove coming even from the outside. Then, in terms of investment internally, what I've been mentioning is we provide our customers with the peace of mind of a long-term investment. We're not a small company, in the corner of such and such that is going to disappear. We have that track record. We have obviously the investment behind that will provide this long-term business, because municipalities obviously they run all this infrastructure for many years. It gives them the peace of mind that we're always going to be there. Then the vast network of partners that we have worldwide that can serve this global market locally, I would say, is a fundamental value that we bring to the table. Having someone that is down the road from you that know our product is a very fundamental value. And then, of course, providing solutions that are not point solutions, but are part of a much larger portfolio that can help the utility to identify different entry points to a problem. When we're talking about water loss, we're talking about energy efficiency. They can be tackled from many different ways. So being able to tackle them from all these different ways is something that with our water-specific portfolio, we can provide to our customers.
We're committed to the water industry. We are committed to the solutions that we provide. We genuinely want to see our end users and our municipalities do more with less. I think our commitment to the vertical and to the issues of the vertical and helping resolve the problems is the main factor for me.
Being the number one company in the operations technology in this market, we provide our customers water-specific solutions devoted to their specific problems. We don't try to throw a blanket approach. We try to find a focused approach to focus specific problems. It is an understanding of the problem and how our solution fits that problem. I won't try to fit a technology into a problem that doesn't exist. Right. Hey, tell me what your problem is. Tell me, my energy bill is really high. Okay, how can you help me? Okay, I know that your energy bill is really high, but it's not just that. is an energy bill in a water company. So based on those two factors, I can help you figure out how to address that. Obviously, in a different vertical, in a different industry, there will be a different solution. So it's making sure that we are water-centric providers of software solutions is at the core of what we do every single day.
We understand the water domain, the issues that affect the water domain, and the solutions to help resolve those issues.